All right, welcome everyone. I believe you can see my screen and hear my voice wherever that you are. I made a big mistake. Forgive me for that. I used the wrong streaming platform. I used the grade 11 instead of grade 10. Sorry for that. So I thought I was using the grade 10 one. Meanwhile, I was with the grade 11s. I believe you can all see the screen right now. Let me know if you can see my screen from the comment section. Yeah, let me know if you can see my screen. Right, and also hear my voice. Let me know. Right, thank you so much. Um, we are going to start. Sorry for that. I made a big mistake and I will apologize again. Sorry for waiting. So we are going to start straight with our grade 11, our grade 10. I don't know why I kept on saying grade 11. Grade 10 CAT study checklist. Remember, the final paper will be out of 120 marks as a grade 10 learner. And then the content will be Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and then HTML. Now, what do you have to know regarding Microsoft Word? We have to know the header and then footer information, as well as the document info and document properties. We have to know the cover pages, changing the cover page controls. We have to also know the page setup, the margins, and then paper size. Then you need to also know the paragraph settings, that's line and then paragraph spacing, how to insert hyperlinks and bookmarks, how to insert or apply a style to headings. In grade 10, you don't need to know how to modify or create a new style, how to change the font styles, and then the effect. So basically, we'll be looking at these today. And then Microsoft Word can be plus 50 marks. That means it can be 50 or 60 marks out of the 120 marks. Now, let's start with the first one. I shared with you the link where you can get the data files. If you don't know where to find the data files, I will also put it again. Let me share the data files with you again. With a grade 10 practical. Now, when you open that link that I'm going to share, yeah, with that link, you see grade 10 practical. You can download it, and that is the one that I'm going to use right now. And then we are going to focus on 2024 November question paper. So I will display the question paper also here whilst I'm presenting. Right. So let's open the Q1 South Africa document file. Q1 South Africa document file. Now, I have this file here. The first thing that I'm going to show you is to insert the document information. Now, to insert document information, it could be on the header or the footer. So you double click on top of your document, and then it's going to open the header section for you, and then it can also open the footer section for you. Now, with the header section or the footer section, they can ask you to insert so many information there. First of all, they can ask you to insert the page numbers. Now you'll find page number, If you are to insert page number at the top of the document, we use the header, which is the top of the document, and then you will see different formatting styles. We have so many formatting styles. So they can restrict you by saying maybe circle, or they can say use page X of Y formatting style. Then you have to select that one. Now, if they don't want you to add the page number on the first page, then you tick here different first page. So the first page will not be numbered. And then as you can see here, it will start from second page and it will say 2 of 11. But then we don't need it to start from page 2, but it should start numbering as 1. So we go back to page number. This time around, we will click on format page numbers. Format page numbers. And then you say start at 0. Why do we say start at 0? Because the first page will be considered as 0, and then the second page will start at 1. So we say start at 0, so that the second page will now be 1. The first page will be 0, but it's not going to show. So that's how we insert page numbers, by separating the first page from the rest of the pages. Again, not only in the header or footer, they can also ask you to insert page number in margins. Now, that one you have to go to insert page number, and then you see page margins. It is not only top and bottom, we also have page margins. Then you choose the right page margin, whether vertical left, accent bar right, or we have arrow left and other different page margins. So they can also put it on the right margin like this one, so that you can see here 1 is on the right, then here is 2, and then 3. So they can tell you how you must number your page or your different pages, right? Now, what again can we insert in the header and footer section? Right, we can also insert the current date and time. Now make sure that if you double click on the header, it gives you the header and footer auxiliary tab. And then from there, you will see date and time. So if we were to insert date and time, you click on date and time. And then you must make sure that you tick update automatically. Then they can ask you to choose a specific date and time, whether it should be full date or the short date. Right. Now, they can also ask you to take it to maybe to the right or to the center. And that is where you must choose the alignment, either center or to the right or justify. So based on what the question gives you, then you have to follow that aspect. Right. Now, what can we also insert in the header and footer? Don't forget, when you double click, you see header and footer. We can also insert various document information. Example, we can insert the author of this document. We can also insert document info called file name. And then we can also insert file path, whereby you go to document info, then you choose file path, the link to the particular file. Right, so still on the header and footer. They can also ask you to insert how many words that can be updated automatically, or the number of characters, or the number of pages. And that one, we have to go to document info, then you choose field. So you see insert field. Then we have so many fields available. For instance, we have create date. They can ask you to insert the date this document was created. Then you choose create date. They can also ask you to insert the file size in kilograms, or no, kilobyte or megabyte. So you take them here. Don't forget, there are file size formatting also here, like 1, 2, 3, or first, second, third, they can ask you to choose any of them, and then you click OK. So that's how we insert other document information either in the header or footer section. Right. It is not only these document information, rather they can even ask you to insert a picture in the header or footer. So you see picture, and then you now choose the picture from your file. So that you select the picture from your file, and it will be in the header or footer section. Right. So these are the things that you can add in the header or footer. So you must watch out for that. Right. Again, not only header and footer, they can even ask you to insert a field, whereby the field can be anywhere in the document. For instance, if I want you to insert the date created as a field at the bottom of this page. So when you go there, you don't have to go to insert header or footer, but rather you go to search and type field. Then it will take you straight here, and then you now choose the file size or any of the field listed here, like the number of characters. We also have number of words, and then you choose the format and then OK. So these are number of words in this document. So watch out for this type of question, that is inserting field into your document. Right. Don't forget to bring all your questions regarding the scope that I've shared with you. So any question that you have, just put them there. I will check the comment section. We will try and do all the topics, including HTML and then PowerPoint also today, so that this video will be available for your revision towards the prep examination, the final examination. Right. So in reference to the October-November 2024 paper, we will see question 1.12, which is insert page numbering in the margin of the document, but do not number the first page. So it's the same as the one that we have done there. You insert page number in the margins here, but you do not number the first page. All that you need to do is you go to insert and then page number. Then you choose page margins, and then when you choose the margin, you make sure that you take different first page so that you do not number the first page. So that is how you are supposed to do regarding that question. Right. Now, after this, we are moving straight to the next topic from our checklist, which will be the cover page and changing the cover pages. Now, how do we insert cover page? Take, for instance, we want to insert any cover page here. Now, the question will always specify a particular cover page. If I ask you to insert a cover page called Integra, so we go to insert cover page. Alternatively, you just go to search, you can type cover page. Remember, in examination, you must use the shortest time to solve all your questions so that you'll be able to finish all your questions. It could be 2.5 hours or it could be 3 hours, depending on your province and what the examiners want to achieve. So the cover page, and then we have different built-in cover pages. So let's say I'm going to choose retrospect cover page. Then you can enter any of the document. This one doesn't have any image. Other cover pages are having images, like for instance, Integra cover page, which has images. Now, when you insert the image, they can ask you to change any of these, like the document title, let's say cat, and then maybe the title. Now, they can even ask you to remove the abstract because it is not needed. So when they say remove, you select it and then you press delete key from your keyboard. You select, then you press delete key. Then that particular control will be deleted. Now, what if later they ask you to insert a specific control and you don't find it here, then that one you will find it only under the document info. So you have to go to document info, which is the document properties, and then you will see any of the properties. Let's say the keyword was not there and they want you to insert it. Then you can now insert it, then you type inside. Right. So these are the thing that you must be expecting regarding the cover page. Again, they can ask you to change the image that is displayed here. Let's say this picture, they want you to replace this picture. Now, when they say replace, you don't have to insert that picture, then you put it on top of this. We will find out. So to change, you right-click on the image, and then you see change picture. Then you select this device. Then you'll be able to change the picture. Right, so that's how we change a picture on the cover page. Good. We move straight to the next one, which is page setup, and then the paragraphs. Now, I'm going to show you the easiest way of reaching out to page setup. Page setup, that is changing the margins, changing the orientation, and then the paper size of the page. Now, they can ask you to change the margin to a specific margin, like this particular question here. That is 1.1. It says, change the margins of the document page to normal. So here they want you to change the margin to the normal margin. So here you have to just go to layout, and then you see margins, then you see normal margin. It was already narrow margin, so they want you to change it to normal margin. There are other margins like moderate, wide, and then mirrored, and then also Office 2003 default. So they can ask you to change any of these margins. Now this one wants us to change it to the normal margin, so we select that one. Again, they can even ask you to change it to a specific margin with a gutter margin, which I'm going to also show you. Now, when it comes to that, the easier way of reaching out, you can use the search and type the keyword margin. Then you find adjust margin. Then you choose custom margin. Alternatively, you can go to the ruler. You see these calibrations. Double click inside the ruler anywhere. It's going to open the page setup for you. Now, let's say we want to change the margin to 2.5 top. Then you change to 2.5 top and then also left. Then this is the gutter margin. If they want you to change the gutter margin, like the gutter margin to 1 centimeter, you change the gutter margin, and then the gutter position, they can ask you to change the gutter position. Let's say the gutter position to top. So that's how we change the margins. Again, the margins can be only applicable to the whole document or a specific page. So you choose that one from here. Then the orientation, if they ask you to change the page to landscape, then you choose landscape also here. So under the margins. With just double clicking on the ruler, you can also change the paper size. Let's say the paper size to A4, then you choose A4 as the paper size. Then the layout, they can also ask you to change the content vertically centered. That's vertical alignment. And vertical alignment, you get it from layout. Under the page, you choose center. So if they ask you to center the content maybe on the first page vertically, then you choose center, and then you choose this point forward, or only the selection of your work. Again, still under the page setup, when you go to layout, you can also change the border, or if you want to apply a border around a specific page, you can click on border also here. Right, so that's all about the page setup. So you must watch out for that. just double clicking anywhere in the ruler settings, and then you can change the margin, the paper, and then also layout. Now let's check if there's any other question regarding that, like this one. Change the entire document page size to A4. So just double clicking, you can solve 2 or more questions at the same time. Right. That is all about margins. Now let's move to the next topic, which is paragraph settings. How to go do paragraph settings by changing the paragraph spacing and then the line spacing. Now, under the paragraph setting, they can ask you to change the line spacing or the paragraph spacing. So how do we go to paragraph spacing? Now, you can also use the search and type the keyword paragraph. Then it's going to give you paragraph settings. Alternatively, from Home tab, you will see paragraph group. Click on this options here, which is paragraph settings. Then you can now change your paragraph settings here. Right, we have the paragraph spacing with before and after. And then we have the line spacing. Now, if let's say this paragraph, we want to change the paragraph settings. You click inside the paragraph, and then from search, you type paragraph settings. So here we have before and after. Let's say we want the paragraph before to be 6 pt and after to be 18 pt. Again, the line spacing, they can ask you to change the line spacing to either double or at least a certain pt. Let's say at least 2 pt or at least 12 pt. So you have to choose the line spacing. We have several ones, a multiple, and exactly. The question will always tell you which one you should choose. Still under the paragraph settings, we have the indentation. We have the left indent, the right indent, and then also special indent. The special indent, we have the first line and then hanging indent. So they can ask you to choose any of them also here. Interestingly, we have line and page break. When we talk about line and page break, that is where we find the keep lines together and then page break before and keep with next. What do we use this one for? Let's say this paragraph, we want to move it to the next page. So when you select it, and they must always be together. So you find it under the paragraph settings, but not indent and spacing, but rather line and page breaks. Then you choose keep lines together. If you want the lines to always be together, not separated, then we have keep with next. That is, the whole paragraph should be next to each other. And page break before, meaning you want to move it to the next page. Then you take page break before. So page break before will move it to the next page. It's going to create a page break for you. Right. So that is how we deal with the line and page breaks. Now let's go and check from our 2024 question paper if there is any question like that. 1.3, it says, change the entire document paragraph spacing to 6 pt before and 6 pt after each paragraph. And then again, they also have another question that says, with question 4, they will also tell you, justify the first paragraph below the heading. So justify is also part of the paragraph. So we have to look at some of these questions. You always meet them from question 1 and then also question 2. Right. So now the question says the entire page. So you have to select all of them. You select from page 1 up until the last page. So you select all the paragraph because the question says should be for all the document. all paragraphs within the document. So you have to select all of them. Now, the easier way to select this, you can use Control A from your keyboard. Control, then you click on A. It will select all of them. Then you go to paragraph settings, indent and paragraph spacing. Then here, the space before should be 6 pt, and then after also 6 pt. So that's what the question wanted us to apply to get that 3 marks. Right. Now, let's move straight to hyperlink, bookmark, and applying a style. Hyperlink and then bookmark, and how to apply a style. Right. Now, bookmark. Bookmark means target location. That means you are naming a particular location. Let's say I want to give a name to this particular place. I want to give it a name. So meaning I must name it as bookmark. So I have to use bookmark to give it a name. Now, where do you find bookmark? You can find it from insert, and then you will find bookmark. Or alternatively, you can also search and say bookmark. Now you type the name of the bookmark. What name am I going to give to this place? Let's say I'm going to give it as national. And then I click on add. So meaning I've named this place as national. Right. So if I want to create a hyperlink to that particular place, let's say on the last page, I want to create a hyperlink. Go to national. So I will select this text, and then you right click, you see link. Or you can just select and then you go to search and type hyperlink or just a link. Then whenever you are linking to a bookmark, you just click on bookmark. Then it's going to give you all the bookmarks and then the headings in this particular document. So here, because we are linking to this particular bookmark called national, you select it and then you click OK. Now, when you select it and then you click OK, they can also ask you to insert the screen tip so that when you put the mouse pointer on it, it's going to read that text. So let's say I click on screen tip. Then I say National Park. And OK. So if I put the mouse pointer on it, it's going to read that National Park. Now, if I want to jump to that particular place, I click Control and then I click on it. It's going to take me to that particular place. So that is what we call bookmark. How to insert bookmark and how to link to a bookmark. Right. You can also hyperlink to maybe a website. Let's say I want to hyperlink this text to a website. You select, you right click, and then you choose link. And then you type the website here. You can also link to any of the files here. You can link to any files. And then you can also link to email address. So depending on what the question says, you have to always watch out from here. Then you click OK. So this one has been linked to that particular website. Right. So that is all about hyperlink and then bookmark. Now I will check if there's any question regarding hyperlink and bookmark from last year's question paper. 1.9, it says, insert a hyperlink on the text Cape Town below the heading Table Mountain National Park to link to the one Table Mountain document found in your examination folder. So we have to look for one Cape Town. There was a text called one Cape Town. We have to look for it. I think it's supposed to be Let me search for it. One Cape Town. Right, let's check the question again. Insert a hyperlink on the text one on the text Cape Town below the heading Table Mountain. So there's a heading called Table Mountain. We have to check that heading. Yes, so Cape Town is here. You select it, then you right click and choose link. And then the question says it must be linked to one Table Mountain document. So we have to look for one Table Mountain. This is the one, and then we click OK. I don't think they ask for any screen tip. No, so we just click OK. So this one will create a hyperlink to one Table Mountain. Right. Now, I will check if there's no question, then I'll move on to the next topic. If I only want a certain page, yes, you only highlight that page. Somebody's asking, is it for paper 1 or paper 2? Please, grade 10, paper 1 is practical. Paper 2 is theory. It's paper 1 that most of you are writing first. So theory will also have that section. Paper 1 is practical. Right. The video will be there, yes. As soon as I stop this lesson, you will find the video, the same link to get the video. So I will check your messages also. Now let's move straight to how to apply a style to a heading. In grade 10, you only need to know grade 10, you need to only know how to apply a style to a heading, like applying a style, not to create a new style. But then you never know if you meet an examiner who wants you to create a new style. So I'm going to show you how to create a new style and also apply the style. Now, let's say you have these headings and you want to apply a style on it. You will find a style from Home tab. There are different styles. By default, we have heading 1, heading 2, title, and different styles here. So if the question say apply heading 1 style, you just click on heading 1 on that particular heading. Right. Now, we can also modify or make changes to this style. You just right click on that style and you see modify. Modifying meaning that you can change the color, you can change the size, you can also change the font. They can even ask you to change other formatting style. Then you go to format, and then you can go to font. Maybe they want you to choose small caps. Then you click OK. Now, when you have done all this, watch out for some of these things. How to apply a border. They can also tell you to put a border around it. When you are done, you take update automatically and then OK. So that all the heading ones will be updated automatically on the headings. So that is how we apply or add a style. Let's check if there was any question last year regarding the style. Let's check if there was any style question. Yes, question 2. It says change the style of the heading to title style. So this one was Q2 environment. Now they were asked to change the style. They were asked to change this heading style to title style. So you select, you go to the style, then you choose title. So you just choose title and then you apply it. If they say change it to heading 1, you click on heading 1. So that is how we apply a heading style to a particular heading. Right, now we move straight to font effect, character spacing. Now, how do we apply the font? I'm going to take the first question again, Q1 question. Now, regarding the heading, this heading, I want to apply different font styles. When you select, you go to font settings. You can search for font. Now, they can ask you to change to a particular font and watch out for interesting font names. Sometimes the question can be given to you in such a way that you have never heard that font name before. Then you ask yourself, where can I find that font? So you must look out for that. Again, bold, italic, changing the font size, font color, underline. They can ask you to choose underline, maybe double underline, and underline color. They can also ask you to choose either small caps or all caps. So here, small caps is under font group. You choose either small caps or all caps. Then they can also ask you to choose advanced font settings. So if the question says character spacing, it is under advanced. Character spacing, it is not paragraph spacing. So take note of that. There's a difference between paragraph spacing and then character spacing. Paragraph spacing is paragraph. Font also has a spacing called character spacing, which you can get from font settings under the advanced group. So we have the spacing, maybe expanded by 2 pt. Then the position, they can ask you to change the position, also raised or lowered. Right, we are not done regarding font. Also watch out for text effect. They can ask you to change the text effect. These are the text effect, and these are the text outline. So the text effect, we have the shadow one. They can ask you to choose any of them. We also have reflection. We have the glow and soft edge. Any of these, they can ask you questions on that. So you must watch out for that. Right, then you apply that on that particular heading. So as you can see here, I've applied all these effects on that one, double, underline, and others. Right, let's check if there was any question regarding font last year. Right, now that's question 1. There was no font for question 1. Question 2, there was also no font question. Yeah, so there was no font question for last year. Let me also check 2023 question paper. I want us to always address every single aspect that we are going to talk about. So 2023 question paper also. Let's check if there was no font question. Yeah, here, one rule, it says change the font size of the whole document to 14 pt. So here, they wanted to change the font size to 14 pt. And they place a 3 pt double underline. We will look at this also. Add a date in the header on the right that will automatically update. We did this in the beginning on the header, and it should update automatically. Double underline the heading, which is also font group. Change the heading, equipment, preparation, and then terminology to italics, which is also font. You must change it to font italic. And then also, yeah, basically, those were the things. So I'll also open one rules, and then we check that particular one. We tried to solve all questions. Microsoft Word will have a lot of questions, so don't forget we will take time to deal with Microsoft Word so that we close all gaps. Right, so if this question is talking about changing it to italic, you just select and then the font group, or you can get it from here, italic. If there's a double underline, also you choose the double underline from there. Right, so that's how we need to apply all these fonts. Now here it says format the text overlay by placing a line through it, which is also font. So you have to look for that text. Line through it, that means strike through. Yes, then you select, you go to font group, and then you choose strike through. We have double strike through and then strike through. Now this question won't strike through, so that we cancel it. Again, they can have subscript and then superscript still under font. Let's say first, and you want the ST to be superscript. You select it, only ST, you go to the font group, and then you choose superscript. We can also get a superscript and subscript from here, like H2O, and you want the 20 to be, the 2 to be subscript, and then you see subscript. Right, so these are the font things that you must know. You must know double strike through. You can also get it from font group here, and then you apply all of them. Change case. They can ask you to change it to small case. You select, you see change case with capital A, small a. You can change it to uppercase or lowercase. So that is how to change case or all the font settings. Right, without wasting much time, let's proceed to the next one, which is, we are done with page numbers. We finished page numbers. Now let's move straight to watermark. How to insert watermark and how to change the page color. How to insert watermark and how to change the page color. If we look at this question, last year question paper, there was watermark question. I think that was question number, there was watermark question. (1.6). No, this is find and replace. Yes, 1.11. It says insert a green text watermark with the text SirAntwi in the document. Now we need to insert a watermark. To insert watermark, you can go to the search and type watermark. And then you choose custom watermark. Then the text watermark, we can have picture watermark and text watermark. Now the picture watermark, that is where you select the picture and then you put the picture there. You select the proper picture that the question wants. And then click on apply. So that picture will be at the background as your watermark. Again, they can ask you to put a text watermark, like this particular question that says, we must insert the watermark with the text SirAntwi in the document. Right, sorry, my network is giving me problem. Right. Let me open it once more. With a 2024. Right. So the watermark, you just go to watermark. You go to watermark. And then the text watermark, they say we must put a sun pack. So we choose custom watermark. Sorry for technology, my network is giving me problem. Watermark. Then we choose text watermark, then we type that text here, sun pack. Then the watermark, they can tell you the font type. And then you can also change maybe the size, then also the color of the watermark, whether diagonal or horizontal. So they can give you a question to change it to what a specific size, or should be diagonal or horizontal. So that's how we insert watermark. So you must watch out for watermark questions. Right. Now, page color. Not only watermark, you can also be asked to change the color of the page. Then you can get that one from either design, or you can just go there and type page color. Then you can choose the standard colors, or you choose fill effect. They can ask you to select the gradient fill with 2 colors. Then you select the 2 colors. And then you select the shading style, whether from corner or diagonal down, and then OK. So they can have a question that requires you to change the page color. Right. Also, indentation. That's using the ruler settings to indent. Now, I'm still going to use this document. This is the first paragraph. Now, they can ask you to set the first line indent for this paragraph. Now, first line indent is this one, the one on top. You drag it to 2 centimeters. If the question says, set the first line indent to 2 centimeters. So you go to the ruler. By default, it will be a 0. Now we want to change this one to 2 centimeters. So you go there and then you drag it to 2 centimeters. Now, if they are asking for hanging indent is the one below the first line. This is hanging indent, then you drag it to 2 centimeters. You can see this one is hanging from here up until this side. So this is hanging indent. And this one is first line indent. Only the first line is pushed inside. Here, the rest are pushed inside. Only the first line will be left alone. That is what we call the hanging indent. Then we also have the left indent. The left indent is the one at the bottom, which is like a rectangle. You drag it, it will move all of them to 2 centimeters. And then they can also say to change the right indent. This is right indent, you drag it set the right indent at maybe 16. They can give you a question like that with a screenshot. Now, always watch out for the screenshot. Again, after this, they can ask you to place a border around this paragraph. So when you click inside, you go to borders and shading. You type borders and shading. Then you can now apply your border, not page border, maybe 3D or shadow border. The question will tell you, and maybe the width to be 3 pt. With a color, they will specify the color, and only at the paragraph. Sometimes they can tell you to be only top and bottom, or the line style to be 3 lines. If they don't want it to be on the side, you remove it from here, and then you click OK. So you can see the border is applied there. There are no side borders. They can give you a question like that, so you must watch out for that type of question. Let me check if I can find other questions like that, then we can answer that also. Right. I think there was no question like that for 2023. Let's check 2024. There was also no question like that. But then you can watch out for those type of questions. They can ask you that question whereby you need to set the tab or set the ruler settings and then place a border around it. They can even ask you to shade. Now, if you're asked to shade inside, you go to borders and shading after you have selected, and then you go to shading. Then they can tell you to shade to a specific color, or they can tell you to choose a pattern style. Right, so that's how we apply borders and shading to a paragraph. So watch out for that, and how to also apply the first line indent, the hanging indent, and then also left indent, and then right indent by looking at the ruler settings. So watch out for that. Again, they can give you a question to set up a tab for a tab stop. I want to see if there's a question regarding tab stop. Microsoft Word is failing to respond. Right. I'll try and open another file so that I'll be able to use it. Now, regarding the tab stop, let's take, for instance, we have a list here. We have a list given to us, like the name, surname, age, and then we have the names. Now we have this, and then the question wants us to apply a tab stop. So you select them, you select your list, and then the tab stop, you can use the ruler settings. Let's say the names must begin with 1. So you go below 1, under it, the one that has the gray color, you double click. It will set the tab for you at a tab position of 1 centimeter. Then you click on set. Then we want the send name to begin at 6. So you go below 6, double click. It will set for you at 6. If we want it to be center, you choose center. with a leader with the lines in between, and then you set it. Then if we want the age to also be at 11, you go below 11. But then the 11, we want it to be at the right indent, and they have lines next to them. You set. After that, you click OK. Now, how do we place them? When you click before the name, you press the tab key from your keyboard. It goes 1 centimeter. Now you click before the surname, you click the tab key. It will take you to that center, which is the 6 centimeters. Then the age, you press the tab key, it will take you to 11 centimeter for the right. Then you do the same for this one to make sure that they are placed properly. Now they can give you a screenshot like this. Watch out for this. Whenever you see L like this, it is left indent. Whenever you see L10 like that, it is right indent. If you see T, that's 10 upside down, we call it the center indent. So watch out for this. And then when you see I, we call it a bar indent. So this is a left indent, and this is the right indent. This is the left, and this is center, and this is a bar indent. So you must watch out for that. They can give you a screenshot like this question. You are going to be given a screenshot. And then they will tell you to design this to be like that. So you must watch out for that. You must watch out for them. This is L, which is left at 1 centimeter. This is like T, which is center at 6 centimeters. And this is L, that is 10 to the other side. And we call it the right indent or right tab stop. So you must know them. Right is 10 to that side, center, and then we also have the left tab stop. Watch out for some of these tab stops. Right. So that is all about tab stop. You must watch out for some of the questions that involves tab stop. Now, from the tab stop, let's move straight to find and replace. And then we will move to image manipulation. Find and replace. Now, you can be given a question to find all the occurrences of a certain word, and then you replace with another word. Now, like this question, we have find and replace question. We have find and replace question. That is 1.6. 1.6 is find and replace. And then also 1.5. We will look at them. Now, this question says, find the word Pretoria in the first paragraph and replace it with a synonym. Now, they can ask you to find with a synonym or antonym. Now, let's look at that one. Let's look at this question. They say we must find the word. So how do we do find and replace? Now they say we must find this word and then we replace with a synonym. So you select that word, you right click, and then you see synonyms. Synonyms is the word with the same meaning. So you can see with the same meaning. Right, if they ask for antonyms, that's opposite in meaning. You right click, you go to synonyms, you don't find antonyms here. Then you must choose thesaurus. Then you are going to find the antonym, which is pride. Now, if I want this one, this antonym, when I select it, pride or humility, if I want that one, when you right click, you can see the arrow there. Then you say insert, so that it will replace that word. Right, for the antonyms. For the synonyms, you can easily get it. Right, now find and replace. This question says we must find all the occurrences of the word beautiful to beautiful in italics and then small caps. So we are looking for the word beautiful, then we apply it as a small caps, and then we also make it to be italic. So find and replace, you can use Control H, or you can go to search and type replace. Now you must watch out for that question when you see all the occurrences. Sometimes the question will not tell you to use find and replace. They will say all the occurrences. So what are we finding here? Beautiful. Then you go to replace with, you don't type anything, then you go to more. And then you must make sure that you have clicked inside the replace with. Then we take here, find whole words only. That's the exact word. You format, font, then we choose small caps. Then the question says it must also be italic. They can ask you to choose any of these styles. They can even ask you to apply paragraph, or you can also highlight. They can ask you to shade it, which is highlight. Sometimes the highlight, you have to check the color. If the highlight color is blue, you have to select it first before you come and choose highlight. And then go to replace all. So we got 9 replacements. All forms of beautiful will be highlighted, and it will be italic with small caps. That is one way of doing find and replace. Another way of doing find and replace is whereby you apply what we call special find and replace. If the question says find all the normal space and then replace with a non-breaking space. So also you go to find and replace. Find and replace. What are we finding? Normal space. And then we replace with, then you go to special. If the question says use non-breaking space, you select and you go to replace all. So we got 1,528 replacement. All the spaces has been replaced with the non-breaking spaces. So that is the special kind of find and replace. Right. So that is all about find and replace. There are so many questions that you can also try your hands on. From 2023, you will see find and replace, and then other questions also. You are going to find that type of question called find and then replace. Right. Now, we move straight to the other topic, interesting topic, which is table. We are going to deal with tables, and then after that, we go to image manipulation and shapes. Now, with the table, join me so that I use the question paper 2 comparison. That is 2023 question paper, because it has a lot of table questions. Right. I'm going to open that question paper 2023. October 2023 question paper 2 comparison. Now you were given this table, and the question says, we have to do it in such a way that the table looks like you see here. Now remove the second column from the right. That's the monthly price. We need to remove this one. We don't need this particular column. So you click inside that column. Whenever you are dealing with tables, anytime you select it, it's going to give you table design and table layout. So here we are dealing with table layout, and then remove means delete. So you click inside here, delete, and then say delete column, so that column will be deleted for us. You can also delete row. If you don't need this row, you click and say delete, then you say delete rows, so that row will be deleted for you. Right. Then the second question says, insert an extra column to the left of the table and format it to look like example above. Right. So here you were given extra column. We have to add this extra column to the left of this operator. Now, they have given you the instructions. We want to insert extra column to the left. So you click inside the operator column, go to the table layout, then you will find column to the left, so that we have another column to the left. And then that column was merged, they were put together. So when you select them, you see merge cells. And then we type the text high-end mobile data package. You copy this text. You can cut it, you right click and choose cut. Then you paste it inside here. Now, when you paste it, look at the direction of the text from the bottom to the top. So we need to change the direction for that text. You click inside, table layout, and you see text direction. Yeah, from the bottom to the top. Then to make sure that they are in the middle, you click here, align center, so that they will be centered. Then again, they shaded. But then to shade, you must go to table design, not table layout. You go to table design, and then you see shading. Then they were shaded with a blue color. This one was also shaded with the same blue color. Right. And then the outer border there, you'll find that we have the outer border with the double line, outer border, and the bottom also. But there are no lines. There are no lines here. So we need to insert outer border, which is double line, and it should be blue color. I think the question said it here. Yeah, we need to insert outer border, which is the double line. Right, and it said the high-end mobile data package should be formatted to small caps. So we need to change it to small caps. And then small caps is under font group. So you go to font, then you see small caps. But then we need to also make sure that they fit. That means we have to apply the double line to the top and to the bottom. How do we insert lines? You select it by clicking here. This is the selecting tool for a table. When you select it, it's going to give you table layout and then the table design. Now with the table design, that's where we design our table. Layout, that's where we delete and then ensure that they are arranged properly. So the table design, we need to have double lines. So we select the double lines from here, and then the thickness maybe 1 pt or 3 pt. Then it should be only top and bottom. Don't forget the color. The color was green. Then you choose the border. Then you pick the top one. Here's the top border. Then again, you go there and choose the bottom border. Only top and bottom. And then the inside ones are dotted lines. Inside are dotted lines. So we select again the dotted lines. And then the color was red. Maybe 1.5 pt. Then we choose inside border. Only inside. Then again, the table must fit properly. When you select the table and then you go to table layout, you will see auto fit. auto fit to content or auto fit to window. Window so that it will be stretched around. Content will be a bit smaller, only the content. So here the question will tell you whether it should be auto fit to content or auto fit to window. Now, how do we do calculations in a table? The question says we must find average of all the things above here. We have to find average of whatever that is above. So when you click there, from the table layout, you see formula. And then you see sum to the left. But this time, we say average. And then inside the bracket, we put above. Why do we say above? We want to sum or find the average of whatever that's above here. Because we are putting the formula here. So everything that is above must be in part of the average formula. Then they can even ask you to also change it to a certain decimal place. So you pick from here. If they want it to be in 1 decimal place, you choose it. So here is 2 decimal place. So we choose the 2 decimal place. Right. All these, the questions will tell you how you must do it. They will tell you the direction. And here they will tell you the height of the first row should be 1.5 centimeters. So the first row height should be 1.5. When you click there, from table layout, you see height, and it should be 1.5. So 1.5. And then again, they say it should be centered vertically and horizontally. You select, when they say centered vertically, horizontal, that means this one, align center. So that it will be centered vertically and horizontally. So you must always check for the instructions that they will tell you, and then ensure that this row will appear on the top of the table if the table goes on the next page. Now, if the table goes on the next page, it should still show there. And that one, you click on the heading. From the table layout, you choose repeat header rows. Repeat header row. So meaning that if this table goes to the next page, if it goes to the next page, it should give you that particular one. It should give these headings there. We select what we call repeat header rows so that it will be repeated on the next page. Right. Now let's check other type of question again. Remove the left and right. We did that. Change the top and bottom table to blue. We did that also. And then the formula also to 2 decimal place. Auto fit to the entire page. So the auto fit to entire page, meaning that we have to select auto fit to window. Auto fit to window. And then save the page as PDF with the same price or the same name. So to save it as PDF, you go to File, Save As, and then you choose PDF as the Save As type. Then you click on Save. If the question asks you to change the file name, you also change the file name. Right. So basically, that is how we deal with tables. How to merge and center. But then there's another new format of a table, which is called cell margin. If this question says we must change the cell margin, when you click inside, from the table layout, you will see cell margins. Then you choose allow, then we set the cell margin. Let's say 1 centimeter or 0.6 centimeter. So this is the spaces in between individual cells. We call it cell margin, which you get it from table layout, and then you see cell margin. So watch out for these type of questions. Then again, they can tell you to center the table horizontally. So when you right click on the table, you see properties, table properties, and then you choose center. Then okay. So that the table will be centered. Right. That is all about tables for now. You have to watch out for the table questions. Right. Any other question? Yeah, it will be there. This video will be available also after this lesson. It's going to be available also. Right. Any other question, don't forget to put it there. If you have any question, you can also put it there also, then I will check it. Right. If there's no question, I will proceed to the last part of the Microsoft Word. That is the shapes, which I will just put them as one. Shapes, drop cap, bullets, and numbering. I will just make it as one because it doesn't involve a lot. I'm going to use, with that one, I'm going to use the file called K1 South. Now, when they say drop cap, if you want to put drop cap here, you click before the end. Let's say you want to put drop cap. Then you go to search, then you type drop cap. It will give you add a drop cap, then you choose drop cap option. So we have two types of drop cap, either drop or in margin. Let's say we pick drop, and then it should be 3 lines to be dropped. You select it. They will also ask you to pick from a text, maybe the distance, maybe 1 centimeter. So this is a drop cap. Right. And then also numbering and bullets. Let's say we want to number this. You select, you'll find bullet and numbering. So if it's bullet, you pick this one. They can even ask you to choose a picture as bullet. You go to define new bullet, then you select a picture or symbol. Then you'll be able to select the picture that the question wants you to select. And then okay. So they can ask you to pick a picture or any type of bullet, and then also numbering as well. If they want you to pick the position, you right click and choose adjust list indent, then you'll be able to change the text indent and then the bullet position, so that you can change the bullet position and text indent. That's how we insert bullet. And then again, hyphenation. Now, if the question says insert automatic hyphenation, we can just go to search and type hyphenation. Then you turn on the automatic hyphenation, just like the line numbers also. Now, I will move straight to the questions regarding image manipulations, how to group images and then shapes. Let's say we have this image and we want this image, but before I move, let me pick a question. We check 1.8. Crop and edit the image below the heading and then appear as you see here. So we have to look at that image. K1 South Africa, there's an image like that. Here's the image. Now look at the image and then look at the question paper. You can see that these animals have been turned to this direction. And then on the question paper, it is on the opposite direction. So meaning we have to flip this image. We have to flip the image. If you try to turn this one, it will never give you the right answer. So the best thing to flip the image. Whenever you click on the image, it's going to give you picture format. Then you see here next to crop, you see rotate object. And then you see flip horizontal. We also have flip vertical. But because these animals were horizontal, so you choose flip horizontal. Now, if the question wants you to remove the edges, you crop, then you crop them. You don't want these lines here, this background. Right. They can also ask you when you go to picture format to remove the background. Then you click on keep changes so that the background will be removed. Now we don't want to remove the background. They can also ask you to crop to shape. You go to crop and then you see crop to shape to a specific shape that you want to crop to. Again, they can ask you to put the picture border from the picture format. You choose weight and then you pick the weight of the border. You can also choose picture border with a color. We have different picture format, shadow, reflection. They can ask you any of these questions. So you must watch out for pictures. When you click on it, make sure that you go to picture format. We also have picture style. They can ask you to choose a picture style. Now, they can also ask you to change the color, the saturation color. What if they want you to move the picture so that it will be together with the text? When you select the picture, to be able to move it, you might change the layout option to this one, square, tight, or through. Then you'll be able to drag the image to any position that you want it to be. So let's say we want this image to be a smaller size. Then we change the size from here. Let's say we want the size. We must make sure that you remove log aspect ratio should be removed. And then you now pick the absolute size. Picture format, then you choose the size. Log aspect ratio, you remove it. And then maybe the height will be 6 and then the width will be 9. So that we have this image, then I can move it with the text. Now, let's say after moving it with the text, with the right position, and the question wants you to put a paragraph or a border around them. To put a border, you go to insert, then you choose shape, then you pick this one, text box, so that you can draw the text box around it. Now, as soon as you draw the text box, you will see that the text box should be below. It's covering it. So you must go to the layout option, then you choose behind text, so that the text box will be behind. And this text box, we can change the format and go to shape outline, weight, and then we can choose 3 pt. Right. So watch out for a text box around an image and then the text. Now, how do we group also image and maybe word art? Let's say we insert word art, Then we type this word art. We want to change this one to word art. Now, then the word art, we can transform the word art. When you click on word art, you go to shape format. You see this one, which is text effect, and then you find transform. So we have follow path. We have different word art styles with the transforms. Then you can change any of the transform styles. Let's say you are changing to this style. Now, when you change them, and then you want to group the word art together with the image, you want to group this word art together with the image, you must make sure that they have the same layout option. So you go to layout option, you choose tight or square, and that one must also have the same. I want them to be at the same place. You must make sure that they are at the same place and then you put them together. This one must also have the same layout. Right, now you can now move this one to be together. Right, so if let's say we want these two to be as one object. Now they must have the same layout. So you want to group as one object. You select this, hold down the control key, you select the second one, then you select both the picture and that one. When you are done selecting all the images, you can remove your finger from the control key. You right click and choose group. Then you group them as one object. So now they become one object. So that's how we group pictures together with the word art and others and put them together as one. Right. Now, what if we want to change this same thing? We can crop it to shape. Like I showed you, if you want to crop it to shape, you can crop it also to shape. Right. Now, that's all about the picture manipulations. The next one is to look at what we call smart art. Smart art. How do we insert smart art? Insert smart art. There are different smart art we have process. So you can insert any smart art and put a text. You put a text there. Now, if you want to change it to the color, you go to the smart art design. Then you see change color. You can pick colorful with each of them having different names. And then the smart art styles also 3D. They can ask you to choose a particular 3D. Then the layout, we have different layouts also. Now, if you want to add something, you can go to text pane. Then you can add another one. If you want the fourth one as paper 4, you add it. Then let's say paper 4 is only theory. Now, theory must be inside paper 4. But you can see they are all together. What you can do is you click there, and then you can press the tab key to move it. Press the tab key to move it inside or backspace. Or you can use promote and demote. You can use that one to be under. So if I press enter again, another one will be practical. So that is paper 4 with all those options below. So that's how we add the word art or the smart art. Now, if I want to change this direction, you click on it, then you can change the direction because it's 3D. If it was 2D, then I was going to change the direction to the other side. So you need to watch out for some of these questions like this one. Then I can now turn it to the other side. Right. So if you want to add any smart art and others, make sure that you select a smart art, you see smart art design, and then you click on text pane, then you can type the text on the left-hand side. Right. That's all about smart art. Finally, we deal with columns. How do you place things in columns? And then you put them on top of each other. Let's say I want to put this one in 3 columns. So I go to search and type column, add or remove column, and then more columns. Now, if I want it to be 3 columns, I click and then OK. So they will be in 3 columns. Now, how do I ensure that each heading will be on top? Let's say I want this one to be on top of column 2. I click before it, then I go to layout, breaks, then I choose column so that to move to the next column. If I want this one to be on top of the 3rd column, I click before it, layout, breaks, then I choose column. Now remember, column, you can also have line in between, like some of these questions that they provided. There were lines in between them. Like this one here, there were lines in between them. So they put columns and they put a column break. So you can see this one is on top of column 1. Here is column 2 and this one column 3. So they inserted column break to be able to get that mark. So I'm going to check that question. Then we close the chapter of Microsoft Word. Then we'll be able to move straight to spreadsheet. Spreadsheet, I believe we won't spend much time. Remember, Microsoft Word, if you don't understand anything, you just go to search or tell me what to do, then to guide you what you must do. Right. 2 environs, I think I have it here. Now, this was the question, and then they wanted us to place something in columns. These ones, in 3 columns. So you select them, and then you go to column. From search, you type column. Or you can get column from layout also. More columns and 3 columns. There was a line in between. So you put the lines. Sometimes they can tell you the spacing and then the width. Then OK. Now you want each of them to be on top. This is on top. That one is on top. But the 3rd one, this one must be on top of column 3. So you click before it. Then you go to layout, breaks, and then you choose column so that to move it to the next column. This one is also not there. You go there, layout, breaks, and then column so that each of them will be on top of each column, as you can see over here. Right, that is all about column. They can ask you also in where to insert a comment. Just go to insert or just a comment and you say add a comment, then you type your comment over there. Right, so that is how we insert columns and then also comment in our document. Right, we are done with Microsoft Word. We are going to move straight to spreadsheet. Spreadsheet does not involve a lot, just few functions. So we are going to spend about 20 minutes to finish spreadsheet. Then we do HTML 10 minutes. And then after this, I'm going to separate each of them so that each of them will become a simple or a smaller one for you. Right. We start with the study guide for spreadsheet. Now, regarding the spreadsheet, we will talk about the sheet management, renaming sheet and tab colors, merge and center orientation, row height, free space, count ifs and sum if and others. So these are the only topics that you must look out for regarding spreadsheet. Right, now let's start with the first question for 2024 question paper. So I'm going to open Q3 playlist or player stats 2024. So you can see in most cases, spreadsheet will be 1 question. In most cases, spreadsheet will be 1 question. Microsoft Word can be even up to 3 questions. So it takes a lot of marks also. Now, the first question says, rename the sheet 1 to player ID. Now, what do you mean by sheet 1? You will see the sheet tabs here. Sheet 1, graph sheet, and sponsor sheet. So if you are asked to rename, you double click, and then they say you must rename to player ID. So I think that is all that the question told us to do. We have to rename to player ID. And then also now change the tab color of the player ID to blue. So here's player ID, you right click, and then you see tab color. Then you choose the blue color. Let me delete Microsoft Word. It's giving me. Right. Then the next question says, merge and center cell A1 to L3 and insert the heading player, add a yellow shading to the merge cell. Right. Still under the sheet tab. They can tell you to rename. They can also tell you to move or copy, duplicate, or hide a particular tab. So you see hide here. When you right click, you will see them. They can also ask you to move or copy to a new worksheet or new workbook. Then you select the workbook you are moving to. Either this one or a new workbook. They can ask you to that. They can also ask you to move to the end so that the player ID will be moved to the end. So that's how we change that. Now, the question again tells us to do something here. Merge and center A1 to L1. This is A1. We are still working in a player ID. So we don't see A1. Yeah, it's A1 to L1. So you select A1 up until L1. Then to merge and center, you right click. You will see format cell. And then you find alignment, we have merge cell. Or alternatively, when you select, you can go to search and say merge. And it's going to give you merge and center. Very simple. You select it, go to tell me what to do, or you can also find it here. This is merge and center. And then the question says again, we must insert the heading players. So you type players. And then it says add a yellow shading to the merge cell. We have to add a yellow shading. So when you select, you can get a shading here. Or if they're asking for a pattern style, you select, you go to search, and then you type shading. Or you can just say border. Then it's going to give you borders and shading. Borders and shading. If it doesn't give you, sometimes when you are typing borders and shading, which gives you the error, then you choose more borders. So that it's going to give you borders and shading. You will see fill with a fill color or pattern style color. So grade 10, they can ask you to change the pattern style and the pattern color, not the normal filling. Fill effect is mostly grade 11 if they are asking you to choose two colors, which is mostly grade 11 content, not grade 10. So you must watch out for that. Right, that's how we fill. They can ask you to put also a border around it. To put a border, you can also just go there and say border, the same place, border. Then you go to the arrow next to the border, and then you go to more borders so that you'll be able to put a particular border around it. Don't forget to select the color if the question says so, and outline. So that's how we put a border around a merged cell. Right, let's check the next question. Change the row height of row 4 to 40. This is row 4. So you right click on number 4, you see row height, and then you type 40. That's how we change the row height. Now, the next question says, use a spreadsheet feature to number the players in column A from 1 up until 24. We want to number from 1 up until 24. We use what we call autofill. So you type 1 and then 2. Then, or you can just type 1, put a mouse pointer here at the bottom there. This is what we call the autofill handle. Double click. It's going to number 1111 for you. Then you see autofill option. Then you say fill series. So you see here, it doesn't want to do. Let's pick one only. Then autofill option, fill series. So that to number 1, 2, 3 up until 24. That's how we use the autofill. If they want you to number from 2, 4, 6, we type 2 and then you type 4. Then you select both, put the autofill here, double click. It's going to make it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 in intervals of 2. Right. Again, they can ask you to make sure that everything is visible. Now, visible meaning that you choose what you call the red text. Red text. Now, they can ask you to change the direction of the text. Now, from the alignment group, you see an arrow that is pointing upward, which is AB. We call it the orientation. We have the counterclockwise. We also have angle clockwise. You have rotate up. So you must watch out for that type of question. You can see a screenshot like this. They use this one, AB, which is the orientation. If you don't find a particular orientation, you go to format cell, and then you'll be able to change the orientation angle here, whether 45 degrees or negative 45. Now, if they say center vertically and horizontally, you use this one. This is middle, and this one is horizontal center. Right. Let's check other questions also. Hide column C. Column C is hidden, and hide the column. So C is hidden. This one is C. And hide, which is between B and D. So you select B and D, you right click and choose and hide so that you'll find column C. Then column G displays hashtag. Rectify it. Hashtag means it is too narrow. So meaning that you must widen column G. You put the mouse pointer in between G and H, that line over there, you double click, then it's going to widen them for you properly. And then again, insert a function in N4 to display today's date. Now, before that, let me go to freeze pane. Let's say we want from 1 up until 4 to be locked, so that when you scroll down, you always see 1 to 4. Then you go to the next one, which is 5, and then you select what you call freeze pane. Then you choose freeze pane, and then you freeze the pane, so that when you scroll down, 1 up until 4 will still remain. The rest will be hidden. We call it freeze pane. Now let's go to the calculations. So basically, that is all that you need to know regarding this moving sheet, renaming, tab colors, and others. Merge and then applying shading, orientation, row height and column width, freeze pane, autofill. These are the things you must know. Right. Then we go to calculations like count ifs, sum ifs, and graphs. We will start with the first one. The first question says, insert a function in N4 to display today's date. So where is our N4? Here's N4. Today's date, we use a function called today. So you press equal sign, you start typing today. It's going to give you double click on FX and then you press enter. That will give you today's date. Now, sometime after inserting today's date, they will ask you to change the format of today's date. So to format it, you right click and choose format cell. Then you go to number format and you choose custom. Then you can now type the format that you want. Let's say they want it to be DD space DDD dash YYYY slash MMMM. They will give you the format, then you type that format there. Right, DD means the day in short. If you put 4D, it will be the day in full, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then if you put 4Y, it will be the year in full. So that is how we change the formatting. Right. The next question also says, change the formatting of column J to be the same as K. Now let's check J. J is this one. And then K. They want the formatting to be the same. That means it should be rand symbol. Now, it means we have to make this one currency. You select all the column J, and then from the number format, you choose currency, so that it will also be currency. Right, the next one says, rename the range B5 up until B28 to player name. So where do we find B5? Here is B5. Up until B28. So you select B5 to B28. To rename, you right click and then you choose define name. Then you give it a name. The question said the name should be player name. Then you type the player name. That means we are giving that particular cell or that column as player name. Right. Apply rep text to column or H4. H4 is this one. So you click on rep text. And then insert a formula in L5 to determine the difference between 2024 and 2023 net. The difference means minus. So we want the difference between 2024 and 2025. So you press equal sign, you click on the 2024 value, this one, minus 2023 value, and you press enter. Now, hashtag means it's too narrow. We have to widen it. Right. The next question. Insert a formula in P5 to determine the total percentage of male, hence use building block provided. Now percentage in B5. Yes, P5. We want total percentage of male. Now meaning that we have to count how many males using female, count it. We have to know how many males are here. Now if you know the number of males, because there's a condition, we have to use count if. Let's check if there is a building block. If there's no building block, you must start solving your question step by step next to where the answer is supposed to be. So we have to use count if to determine how many males are available. We go to equal sign, count if. Then you click on FX. Now, because the question says we need to calculate how many male, we have to select the range where we find the male and female, which is column D. So you select all the various gender. And then now the question says we have to find the number of males. because we are looking for the percentage of male. We need to get the number, then we divide by the total. So here we are looking for male. You don't need to type male. You can type male in full, or you can use wildcard by saying you pick the first three letters. You say star, MA, star, or MA. Okay, if you use that, because female and male is going to create a problem for you. So you just type male in full, because female also contain MALE. So we got 10 male with a count if. Now, when you are done, you must find the total. The total, we use counter. Counter. If you want to find the total, that's all of them, we use counter. Then you click on FX. Then you select all the values under gender. You select all of them. So we got 24. So the total is 24. And then the number of males are 10. So we need to find percentage. So the percentage will now be equal sign the number of males, which is 10, divided by the total, which is 24. So with this, when you press enter, it's going to give you fraction. And then we need to change the fraction into percentage. You go to the number format, you see percentage, you click on it. So it will be 42%. So first of all, you find the number of male by using count if. And then we find the total number by using counter. Then you come here and say equal sign, the value for the male divided by the total, which will give you fraction. Then you change it to percentage. So that's the total percentage of male. Now the next one is talking about more than 500 games won. Now, where are the games won? Here are the games won, column G. We want to find how many got more than 500 games won, because there's a criteria that's saying more than 500 won. So this is the question. It says, calculate in P7 how many players won more than 500 games. Use a function. Because there's a criteria, we use what we call count if. Count with a criteria. So here we go there and use count if. Equal sign, count if. When you start typing, you see count if, double click on it. Click on FX. Now the range, you select all the values under games won, which is column G. And then the criteria, more than meaning greater than 500. When they say more than, you use greater than. Less than, we use the less than symbol. So it's going to be this count if G5 up until G28 greater than 500. This one is the criteria. And then we got 39. So 39 games got more than that got more than 500. Right. Count if from G5 up to this. And then the next question says, insert a function in P9 to determine who lost column, that's column H, the most matches. Now the most meaning we use mode. The most can be highest also, but if you see most frequently occurring, when you see most frequently occurring is mode. When you see most, that means it's max, the one who got more, which is max. So most games lost. Let's check. These are the games lost. So they won the highest. Now the most games lost, we are going to use the function called max, the highest. Equal sign max. Then you select games lost. And then you press enter. So the most games lost is 9765. Now, average rating of all the players. Determine the average rating of all the players. Use a function to round it off to one decimal place. Now, average for all the players, and then you round it off. Now, to solve that question, you have to solve it next to where you need to put the answer, and then we use a function called average. Now, the question says average rating. Then you click on FX. The number, you select the ratings. You select the ratings. The number, you select the ratings. Right, and then you click OK. So we got this average with so many decimal places. Then they say it should be to one decimal place. So the function to round it to one decimal place, we use round function. So you now say equal sign round. You double click on round, and then you click on FX. So where it says number, you click on your answer. Then the number of digits is 1. Because the question says to be one decimal place, then you click OK. So whenever you have average question, then they ask you to round it. Solve the question somewhere, then you use the round function to round it to the number of decimal places. Right, now the next question. Use a function in P13 to determine how many players did not submit their language preference in column F. Did not submit the language preference in column F. That means they gave empty. Column F, how many gave empty? Now, to get empty spaces, we use a function called count blank. Count blank. Then you select the values in column F. And then you press enter. So it's going to give you the blank spaces, which is 5. So to count the blank spaces, we use count blank, average, and then most games, max, least games. If they were asking about least games, we use min, equal sign min. Double click on that, and then you select the values. And we press enter. So the minimum value was 14. Right. They can equally ask you a question to also generate random numbers. Let's say you want to generate random numbers between 0 and 12 or 1 to 10. We use a function called range between. Range between. So the bottom will be 0 and then the top will be 10. Then okay. So range between 0 and 10. So it can give 0. When you double click and press enter, it gives you 5. So it's going to generate numbers from 0 up until 10. Right. So basically, these are the functions you need to know. Count blank, counter, mode. Mode is most frequently occurring. We saw today, and then min, average, and then also formatting to decimal places. Vet increase percentage calculations, we saw it. Then discount. And the random number between 0 and 1, we use rand. If it's a rand, it's going to give you random number between 0 and 1, which is decimal places. Then also, that function called mode, most frequently occurring, we use mode. Mode, which one occurs most? So let's say which one occurs most here. Which values occurred most? We use mode. So we got NA because we did not get any value that appear more than once. So that's why it's NA. Let's say we were having another one that appear more than one, then that answer will be here. Right. Lastly, regarding spreadsheet will be graphs. That's the chart and graphs. Now let's look at the chart from this question. 3.18, you were given a chart. They say you must modify the chart as you can see over there. Now, the title and others. So we have to use that one to deal with that chart. The graph was created. And now the question wants us, it's a games lost. So we have to use the games lost one. That's this one. So we need to change this. They were already created for us. So to modify, you right click. Whenever you are dealing with graphs, you right click. Let's check the type of graph. Okay, the values were not there. So when you select them, you click on the chart element, this one. Then you see data labels so that they will be there. And then the highest one must have filled with the red color. So you click on the highest twice, 1, 2. So that to select only that one, you right click and you see fill, then you choose the red color. So that one will be filled with red color. Sometimes they can tell you to also fill with a picture like this one. You right click twice, fill, and then you choose picture. Then you can select a picture to fill in. Right. Now that picture is not filled in properly. You right click and then you choose format data point. So that it opens here for you. Then you go to fill, then you tick stack instead of stretch so that it will be stacked in a smaller point for you. Right. They can also ask you to vary by colors with different colors. You tick this one. You right click, then you go to the fill, and then it's going to choose vary colors. Again, the title, there was no title. So when you select it, you click on the chart element, then you see chart title. Then you can type the title, which is game lost. Then again, the X and Y axis, this is totals, and this is names. So we need to insert it. So you choose axis title. Then we can now type the total. And here we type names. Right. Again, the instruction, the next instruction, fill the fill color of the highest, like we saw it, for 5 marks. Now, there's also another thing regarding graph that you must take note. Sometimes they can put a legend. When you click there, you go there, you see legend. Then to choose where you must put the legend, whether right or top or left, the question will tell you, or the bottom. Right. So that's how we put the legend. Then we also have the trend line. If you want to put a trend line, we can choose linear trend line. That will be a line. Or we can put 2 period or exponential. So the question will tell you what kind of trend line you must place. Now, with this graph also, we can change them. Let's say the highest must be at the beginning. When you select them, you right click and choose format data series. Now, it gives you the series option. It gives you this one, and it gives you the fill path. Right. Now, if you want to swap them, you see these values with the names here. When you click on it, it's going to give you another one, which is the directions and alignment. And it's going to also give you this one, which is called the exit options. Then you choose categories in reverse order, so that the highest will be the beginning and then the lowest or the other one will be the other side. You take this one, categories in reverse order. Now, if you want to put this one on top also, when you click on it, it will give you that option. You go to the alignment, then you take it to, you can place it the way they are rotated. You can change the rotation. Right, so watch out for some of these things. They can ask you, what if they want you to change it to also pie chart? When you right click, you can see change chart type, and then you choose pie chart. If you want it to be in pie chart format, and okay, so that to be in pie chart. Now with the pie chart, remember pie chart is in percentages. So when you go to data labels, then the pie chart, you must go to more options, and then you choose percentage, so that to be percentage. We can also show the category name and then the series name. They can ask you to do that. Right. Then they can ask you to pull out the biggest option, the biggest percentage. Let's say the biggest percentage is 10%, this one, or 11%. You want to pull out. You click on it twice, and then you drag it to pull it out. Again, you can right click and fill in with any color or maybe gradient or texture, which the question can tell you to do that. Now, what if they want us to rotate it so that this one must be somewhere here? When you click on it, you will see angle of first slice, then you keep on rotating it so it changes to that position for you. So that's how we rotate the slice also. So you must watch out for some of these things regarding spreadsheet. Right. The last part of spreadsheet, it says work. Now work in the sponsor worksheet. Correct the error indicated in E3. So this is the sponsor worksheet. E3. They said there's an error there. Now the formula says total. We don't have any function called total. So it's supposed to be sum. So you just say sum, and you press enter. So it was supposed to be sum, not total. Again, insert the file name, right, align as a field in the header. Now, like I said, you look for field. Here you won't find them. You have to go to header first. So you type header. Now, when it opens the header for you, you'll see the file name, file path, sheet name, current time, current date. They can ask you like that. So file name, and the question says should be on the right. So you must click on the right side and choose file name. Right, now if you want to go out of this one, then you come to this one here, which says the normal view. Then you can now see the normal view. If you want to see it properly, again, you go here to page layout. That's where you see the file name and then the normal view. Right, next question. Now use a function in C12 to determine how many players receive a sponsor. Anytime you see how many, meaning count. Whenever you see how many means count. If you see total, meaning you add, which is sum. So C12, how many? So we are going to count, equal sign, count, and then you select the values and press enter. So we got 6. And then also ensure that when this worksheet is printed, the gray lines will also be printed. So the gray line must also be printed. You go to the page layout, and then you see gray lines, you say print. You tick it. They can also ask you to print the headings, then you tick print. They can ask you to change the titles. They can ask you to set the print area. To set the print area, you select them where you want to print, and then you go to print area, then you say set print area. You can change the orientation also from page layout. So you must watch out for that. Then the last question says, make sure that the date of birth column displays like the screenshot. Now you can see Sunday in bracket minus, and then the June, the month. So when you have the, it means the day was written like 3D in bracket, and then they put dash, and then the month was in full. So M4 times. So that's how it's supposed to be. Now let's look at it. These are the ones you select. You right click and choose format cells. Then you go to custom, then you change it here. So we are going to custom it. You open bracket, DDD, you close it. If you are changing, you see it to give you a sample. Dash, you open bracket, M, and then okay. So that is how they wanted us to modify it to be like that. So basically, that is all about spreadsheet. We have covered every topic here. Rent between calculations, percentage increase. If they wanted to increase it by a certain percentage, and vet, like the total amount. If they wanted to increase this total amount by 10%, it's going to be equals to, you open bracket, 100 plus 10, because the original percentage is 100%. So if you are increasing by 10%, you say equals to, you open bracket, 100 plus 10, then you put a percentage times the total amount, enter. So this will be 10% increase of every amount. Now, if they are talking about percentage decrease or VAT, discount, if they were having discount of 10%, then it's going to be equals to, you open bracket, equals to, you open bracket, 100 minus discount, you subtract minus 10, then you put a percentage times the value given to you here. So this one, they gave 10% discount. So that's how we calculate the discount. You subtract 10 from it, you put a percentage symbol, then you say times the value given to you. Right. So this is all about spreadsheet. This is all about spreadsheet. Yeah, please, I will send the link again, you will get them. Now, let's finalize it. I will send the link again, or this video, below this video, you get all these papers. Then you'll be able to, yeah, some people are saying I must slow down, please, because the video will be is being recorded, and then you get access to it to watch over and over. So I think I must beat up the time. You watch again also later. Right. Now, let's move straight to HTML, and then we finalize with PowerPoint. We are not going to spend that time, more time there, because those questions are easy questions. Let's start with the PowerPoint. This question says we must open the Q4 presentation. PowerPoint does not involve a lot. The same applies to HTML. Now it says duplicate first slide and move it to the last slide. This is the first slide. Now the question says we must duplicate the first slide. To duplicate a slide, you right click and you see duplicate slide. So that's going to create another one for you. Now we have to move it to the last position. So you can just drag it to the positions. So that it becomes the last position. Then add your name and surname in the footer of each slide. Now to add to the footer, again, you can use the search and type footer. Then you'll be able to type the footer. If they are asking for header, you can also choose it. So footer, then you type the footer there, your name and surname over there. Right, they can also ask you to choose the date and time in the footer or the slide number also in the footer to number them. Then you say apply to all so that your name and surname will be in the footer for all of them. Again, change the transition effect option to from right and apply to all slide. So you go to transition and then you choose from right. So effect options, you say from right. From right. And they can ask you to choose any transition. Already they chose the cover one. They can ask you to choose any transition. Then you click on apply to all. Apply to all. Then the next question on slide 6, add number 4 as indicated. So there was no number 4 and they want us to add number 4 to it. So slide 6, here is it. So there was no number 4. So we have to add another one. Remember, we have this and that one. So we need another one to be added to this numbering styles here. So we have to check what did they use. They use a shape. So when you click on the shape, it gives the shape format. This one, you can even click on it and then you duplicate. You can copy and then you paste so that you can have the 4th one. That's number 2. Number 4 is supposed to be here. Then you add it to 4. Right. Now, if they were giving these lines here, you can also use the other shape. It could be that they applied, what do you call it? They applied a smart art. So you must check if it was smart art that was applied. You have to check which smart art was used. I think they used this one, the basic block one. Right. So then the next question says, on slide 6, change the text well-being to match the color of the logo of the slide, light green. So here, the well-being here, we have to change the color to light green. So the font color must be the light green. To change it to light green. What are some of the things that you can also expect? That's animation. They can ask you to put animation. And then they can also ask you to insert action button. Where do you find action button? You go to insert. Then you see shapes. And you're going to find action button at the bottom. Let's say to the next, you draw it. And you say to the next slide, okay. There are so many action buttons that they can ask you to add also on a particular slide. Again, they can ask you to change the design or the theme to a specific theme or design. You go to design, then you change it. They can also ask you to change the slide size, which you can change either widescreen or the standard one. They can ask you to choose a particular slide size also. Right. They can also ask you to change the view option. So you go to view and then you choose slide sorter. They can tell you to change it to the slide sorter also. So basically, this is all about PowerPoint that you need to know. Slide sorter and all those in the theme, inserting text, transition, animation, bullet, numbering, action button, and hyperlink. Yes, they can ask you to also hyperlink a text. Let's say you want to hyperlink this one. You select, you right click and choose link. Then you can link to any slide. If you are linking to another slide, you choose place in this document. Then you choose, maybe I'm linking to slide 1, and then I click on OK. so that this one will be linked to slide 1. Right, that is all about PowerPoint. Now, let's move on to the last topic, which is HTML. Very small one, 15 marks or 10 marks. Last year also there was a question under HTML. What do you have to expect? Horizontal line, those basic text that you need to expect. Let's check 2023 also. HTML 2023, there were 2 questions. There were 2 questions like graphs and converting dollar signs, pattern style like we did here, fully visible meaning rep text. So all these you might check them also. Higher speed, max, average, and in range also. Change if they ask you to insert phone number also. This is the text. So you can go through these 2 question papers and you'll be sorted out also. Right. Now, HTML. You see 2023, there were a few questions underlined and others, 15 marks. Now, this one, it says, we must open the Q5 Wales. And you right click and then you must choose edit with Notepad++. And I know most of grade 10 are going to struggle with HTML because it's the first time you are doing it. You right click and choose edit with Notepad++. Now, when you go there, 4.1, that means you must answer that question here. And this question says, add HTML code to display the title Wales in the browser tab. So you must put a title here. Don't enter it inside the comment. This is a comment. Whenever you see exclamation mark, it's a comment. It is just guiding you to show you that that is where you must answer that particular question. So the title, browser tab means title. And the title should be Wales. And then you close your title with a /. They say title. Right. Then the next question. The next question says, change the background color to a light blue. Please, it should be one word. Background color, meaning we must answer the 4.2 here. Background color is part of the body tag. It's an attribute. And when we talk about attribute like these colors here, so you go inside the body tag, you press the space bar and say BG color. Look at the way I type the color, OR. When you put U there, it's going to give wrong answer because we use American English. BG color equals to light blue. It should be one word. And don't forget to put the inverted comma. Then the next one, change the word whale watching at the end of the 3rd paragraph to bold. How do we bold it? This is the 4.3. We must bold this one. We use B. B is for bold. And then we close it at the end with B. Right, so this is bold. Now, if they say you must italize it also, you press enter and then you put I. I is italic. And then you close your I before you close your B. Right, now, if you don't close it properly, let's say I make a mistake and I don't put a /, it doesn't select. That means there's a mistake. You must check it. So here we have to put a /. The next question, add the level 2 tag to the heading list of product. Level 2 means H2. When you see level 2 means H2. Level 1 is H1. So here, 4.4, level 2, which is H2, list of product. Oh, okay, here we wanted, this one is the one that should supposed to be bold, this one. Bold, and then we close it here. So here they want us to make it to be level 2, which is H2. Level 2 heading means H2. And then we close with our H2. Right. H1 is level 1. Then the next question, add a horizontal line below the bulleted list, which is 4.5 here. Horizontal line, we use HR. And horizontal line must have the weight or the size. If the question says so, the size, let's say 5. And then the weight, let's say the width should be 100%. It should cover 100% of the page. And also the color of the line may be blue or red. So these are the attributes of horizontal line: size, width, and then color. Then change the font color of the paragraph. Remember to visit our Eco Marine Village to red. The font color. The tag is font. So we need to put a font color here, remember. So we use font tag. And then the attribute is color equals to red. Again, we can have the font style, which is the face. Let's say the font face is Abedi. We don't say font type, it's font face. And then we also have font size equals, let's say, 16 pt. Don't put a pt. They can ask you any question from the font, like the color, the red. Now, when you are done, you must close the font tag where the font is ending. So you start here, it must end here. Again, we have paragraph P. P is for paragraph. They can ask you to align it. Say align equals to maybe center. That means we want to align this paragraph to center. So watch out for some of these things. They can ask you image is IMG, SRC for the source of the image. You specify the height and then the width of the image. So that's how we insert image also. Now, correct the code for the Eco Marine image to display correctly. The image is not displaying. Why? Because we did not pick the type of the image. Let's go and check the type. This is the image. Logo image, which is PNG. No, Eco Marine image, which is JPG. Now, they did not put the file format for the image. They just say Eco Marine, so you must put .jpg. Anytime you insert image, don't forget to put the image attribute also. Right. Then there's also hyperlink. href equals to, let's say we are linking, hyperlink reference, we are linking to google.com. Then you type go to Google. And then you close your A. So that's how we insert hyperlink. So that when you click on go to Google, it's going to lead you to this particular page. All right. So basically, these are the things that you must know. Break. When they ask you to insert another line or space, like pressing enter, we use BR. BR is line break. So one line in between, meaning one BR. If there's a double line between, we use 2 BR. So you need to know that you'll be provided with the tag sheet. Always refer to the tag sheet and you'll be able to answer all these questions. So that is all about the HTML also. And then we finish our practical. These are the things that you must know before you go to the exams room grade 10. Thank you so much for staying with me. As soon as I end this session, the video, you can click on the same link and then watch again. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck for your examination also. Bye-bye.